Today's reading is going to be Who Wants to Get Closer to You? So we've got 3 piles as usual. We've got pile number 1, blue, pile number 2, pink, and pile number 3, purple ball. So if you want to take your choice, then we'll get going.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, right then, pile number 1. Who wants to get closer to you? Straight from the very beginning, I get the feeling that this may be somebody who has had their eye on you for quite a long time and is trying to deal with the whole situation quite logically. It possibly could be somebody who you may already know but has moved away from you, or has had to move away from you for some reason. And there's some fear involved here. It's not like incredibly fearful. It's just that caution feeling. This person has a feeling of caution with regards to you. That's just what I'm picking up in a sort of the amalgamation of the pile in some way. But let's go back right to the beginning. This person is somebody who wavers between their moods. Sometimes they appear to you rather outgoing and warm, and then other times they can be almost a little bit pulled back and emotional. So it's somebody, but I think this could be to do with the fact that they're attracted to you, that sometimes they are themselves, which is open and sharing and communicating well, and then other times they are just watching and quiet. You may pick up a feeling of moodiness because you've got the sun and the moon together for this person. I'm wondering whether this person comes off as being a little bit sulky at times, because those two just flip between one mood and the other, because they're the opposites, the sun and the moon. One's really outgoing, outgiving, egocentric. The other one is receptive, inward, moody, creative, feels a lot. I think this person is struggling with their feelings for you, and it's not like, because initially I was going to call the pile Who Wants Sexy Time With You, but my kids said you can't do that one, that's just really cheesy. So I'm going to see how these piles actually work out and to see which title I'm going to put up. But at the moment this feels like something almost delicate and mature rather than sexy time. But I'm not saying that's not part of it, I'm just saying that's the feeling I'm getting, and I'll explain why. Initially the situation has got caution, and I think this is your person. I think that he or she feels attraction towards you but realises that it's not, the timing isn't right, or the situation isn't right, or they just makes them feel vulnerable in some way. They're watching and they're waiting, but they're almost as if, I think you may make them feel a little bit timid. You could have that personality that's very sociable, very outgoing, and they may slightly feel as if they're on the outside. But to be honest, what I'm picking up looking at these cards is, I reckon that your person that has an eye on you has got quite a strong ego, and I think they're quite, just by this card here, this is your barrier to communication. And this is your situation. This is the situation is caution. So I think that you and the attraction to you makes this person feel smaller than they want to feel. Because the barrier to communication is, I'm assuming, it doesn't really matter who this person is, but there's a strong character who has caught somebody else. So I think you make your person feel vulnerable, and I think the person's ego is quite strong and they like to keep it intact, or else they feel like they're drowning if it slips. It's somebody I'm picking up that has a quite strong ego and then is facilitating between outgoing and pulling in. It's got that I'll watch and I'll wait until I feel secure feeling about it. And then when I know that the feelings possibly won't bounce back to me, then I may put my feelers out a little bit with this person. I'm getting the impression that your person is quite a going to say prominent figure, but I mean that everybody knows who they are because I think they have a strong presence. I think they come across as quite I'm going to say clear society again, but I just feel a really strong presence. And I don't think I think this person's ego is based on how they're perceived in society in some way. So I wonder whether if they let themselves be vulnerable by letting you know they're attracted to you, whether it feels as if it demeans them in some way. So I think they are just holding solid and just feeling it, and they don't want to slide into it because you make them feel vulnerable. Right, let's keep going. How will you recognise this person? I think that you'll recognise this person by... I think you know this person, and I think you know who they are, and I think that in some way that they have had to turn their back on you for the reasons we've just talked about. It doesn't do them. They don't think it does them some... This has nothing to do with you. They don't think that it's the correct thing to do to let you know that they're attracted to you, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just because it makes them feel vulnerable or just their position in society. It's not got the feeling of a young love free-flowing to me. It's got the feel of attraction that's been there for a while. And I mean a while could just be like weeks, but it doesn't have to be years. And one person's struggling with it, and I think it's your person that's struggling with it and doesn't want to appear vulnerable, and they've almost turned away from you. I don't get the feeling in like it's a relationship that's split either. I just think it's almost as if they've tried to move away because you make them feel as if their nerves are bare or their heart's on their sleeve. So the contact that's coming, so this person changes from this King of Swords energy, which is intellectual, I'm going to say scheming, and I mean that in the best sense. It's plotting and it's wondering how to get close to you. It wants to capture you, but it wants to do it in a way that doesn't make them look stupid. And then the energy turns to King of Cups, and this King of Cups, almost as if they have... This person in this card is working with their ego, the Sun here in the King of Swords. They are wondering what to do, and they are basically puffing themselves out, making themselves look big with the fear of looking vulnerable. They want to capture you, they want to come closer to you, but the fear is definitely ego-based here. And then it turns into the King of Cups, which is far more emotional. And the cups are emotions and feelings. So I think this person is going to shift from being perceptive, watching and trying to scheme and intellectualize things to being a little bit more emotionally driven. It makes me feel they may be more open with you. Or at least they're going to be using their intuition to get closer to you. With the moon and this here, it's as if they are almost becoming a little bit more feminine in the way that they think. And I mean feminine in the wider sense, as in a little bit more receptive, a little bit more open to shift and change, and a little bit less barriers and a little bit less fear. There's more flow in the feelings, there's more flow in the interactions between the pair of you. So if you know this person and it's somebody who shifts between moods, and it's somebody who's watching and you know there's an attraction there, but they've almost given you the cold shoulder when it's because they're trying to control themselves. And what's going to happen, I feel, is if this person's going to almost have a shift in, as if they're slightly drunk, a little bit more sort of easygoing and a little bit more fluid with your interactions. It's as if this person's going to let down their ego barriers and be a little bit more free-flowing with you. Why are they attracted to you? This card looks revolting, but it's one of the best cards in the pack to why somebody's attracted to you. It could be myriad of things. Because it's ruled by Venus, you might be one of those people who are just extremely attractive. The way you put your clothes together, the way you put anything together, the way that you write to make your house look, to do your hair, to the way that you speak to people is just something that probably is widely held as seeing attractive. But you also could be a mother, or you could be extremely good with kids, or just got that very nurturing energy about you. To me, this card makes me feel the alchemical mother, because this mum here is, you can see the bones, and then the baby is like fully grown inside. It's almost as if you put other people before yourself. And I wonder whether this person finds this really attractive. It gives me the feeling of somebody who nurtures others and lets other people grow, even by putting themselves on the line or making themselves a little bit less in some way, that they just give more than they take. It's a really sort of kind, loving, nurturing energy, to the point that it's, you don't see it very often. There's not that many people who, it depends in what, in families you do, and close, very close friends, and in some work situations you do, but a lot of the time people give but expect something back. So this gives me the energy of somebody who gives freely just to see other people grow, or situations grow. You could be in the creative industry, because there's something we said up here. Oh no, take that back. Sorry, take that back. But you still could be with the Empress. It could be something that just makes things look beautiful. But to me, the strongest feel is somebody who nurtures people in every interaction that they have, in just, even within the relationship. I think this person, yeah, I wonder whether your person is quite cool. They have to have this exterior. They've got a strong ego. They're quite cool in their interactions with people. There's a Scorpio air feel about this. It's somebody who watches and waits, and when they communicate, they're straight and they're honest, but it's not loving, it's not warm. It's not the type of person you immediately get a hug from. It's not the type of person that wails watching Titanic. And then there's a shift in their personality, and I think that they are shifting to match you. In some way, you have had an effect on this person to soften them. Maybe that's what this third eye means here, and then the sun and the moon shift here. I think this is what I'm picking up from these cards, that you may have had quite an impact on this person, shifting their personality from being less intellectual and a little bit more free-flowing and a little bit more just softer, kinder, giving. I think that's the most attractive thing about you. It's got to be with this shift from the Swords to the Cups. And this third eye here. And I feel that attraction, or that reason for the attraction, is quite intense. I wonder whether you have seen this person watching you when you are in a situation of giving, or just having a conversation and asking other people how they feel and actually listening to the reply, or just perhaps you work with children, perhaps you just make things, you could even work in a nursery. I don't mean like a children's nursery either, both, like making plants grow. There's just, I think that this person's attraction is the way that you make things grow in every sense. It's the type of person when you're with it, you make people feel safe. You make them feel as if they belong, and you make the day just feel good, and you make people just feel it's just right. It's that feeling of when you go into your parents' house and they're not there. So you've grown up in your parents' house and it just is the house with people around, and then you go in there and they're not there and it just feels empty. People come into your space or your energy and you make people feel as if they belong. You make everything feel alive and warm. And I think this is what this person finds attractive about you. Right. How will you know that they're attracted to you? This is your person initially, and how will you know? And I think without me saying anything, you can see there's a comparison there. This person's a hunter. They are watching and they are waiting for the right time. They're almost as if they've sat back, and as we've said before, they're protecting themselves, and then the right time is going to, and I think it's going to be quick. It's going to be some sort of interaction where if you work together, this is just one scenario just to give an impression of how it will happen. It could be, it doesn't have to work together. I'm not picking that up, to be honest. It could be either way. I haven't picked anything up on that face yet. But you could be in a group, and then there's a shift where you move out of the group and then this person's in straight away trying to talk to you, trying to get a little bit closer to you. That's the impression I get. It's like a night out, you go to the bar to get a drink and then this person is very quick there. Or you move into a different room and you're on your own and this person appears. Or you're in work, you go into get a coffee, this person appears. It's somebody who's got the eye on you and knows when to get closer to you. I don't think they're afraid to get closer to you. I think they're afraid of themselves more than anything. They're afraid of feeling vulnerable. Right, how things look from your perspective. This Page of Cups goes very much with the Empress card. I think that you're one of those soft people who don't have spiky edges about you. You're somebody probably who gives and doesn't have that sort of self-protective instinct that your person has. That is definitely why they're attracted to you. They don't understand it. They don't understand how you can be so vulnerable and open and kind and giving without feeling like you are overexposed. It's making me feel with this Page of Cups, I wonder whether you have that Pisces air about you where you have that soft look in your eyes. And when somebody, do you know what I'm thinking of? The type of person when somebody takes a picture and most people have got a particular smile that they know they look good with or a certain angle and you just look at the camera and you smile and it comes out of your eyes. It's that feeling of vulnerability and you're okay with it. It's that feeling of nurturing and you're not too scared of losing yourself by giving. A really nice air about you and this person is infatuated by that. They don't understand it. They don't understand how you can be so vulnerable without losing yourself. It makes me feel of a watery, you make me feel of somebody that's loving and open and Venus and water and emotional and beautiful and giving, and this person it almost wants to be you but wasn't actually born like you, so it doesn't come so naturally. I think they've got a much more of a intellectual side to them and a what I would think as a Pluto side, as they're afraid to be vulnerable because if they feel that they're vulnerable and it's turned down, it's like death to them. Right, from their perspective, your person's, I think, has a position where they are well known and they are seen as being strong and they are seen as being capable. Even though I'm almost expecting to be an Emperor card here and there's not. But I think that they have quite, as we've just said, their self-esteem isn't as good on the inside as it appears to other people because how things look like from their perspective, the Four of Pentacles, this person doesn't think that he's worthy or she's worthy of you. There's that feeling that they can't match up to your innocence and the way that you express yourself and the way that you turn up in life and the fact that you're so open. But it's something that they admire, but they just haven't quite got to yet. But what you're actually doing to this person is you're teaching them how to do it. And that's the transition into the King of Cups here. This person is watching you and they are almost subconsciously changing their personalities with what they actually see, the way that they see you act. Your openness and your warmth and your loving. And I think this person is going to almost sneak on the inside lane to get close to you. And I wonder whether the fact that I keep thinking that the sneaking on the inside lane and the group situation, I wonder whether you work with this person or whether you know this person through a group of people because your energy together is the Three of Cups. So I think this person is really struggling and trying hard to match your energy. And what's going to happen, I reckon, in the end is that you probably will get together and this person's trying to weigh up the duality in themselves. These two, this feelings and this sort of intellectual approach without showing the vulnerability, they're really struggling. You are this person's teacher. This person is struggling to marry these together. And what's going to happen, I think that they're working really hard on themselves. And when they get close to you, it's almost as if the energy is all very similar. And You work well, and I wonder whether it's you work well as part of a team. Because the Three of Cups is 3 people or more, and these crows, whatever they are, they've all got the same sort of ritual mask on, and they're all rotating, and they're all working together, and they're just working well as part of a team. So I think your person who has that own you is using you as, in the best possible sense, as almost like a teacher or just somebody they admire. And I wonder whether you're going to know it soon by the fact that they come extremely close to you very quickly. Not extremely close as in creepy close, but they just basically zip in, and then this person will be talking to you. You won't have seen them coming. You think, oh my gosh, it's you. Or, yes, I knew this was coming, that feeling. Oh my gosh, okay, right at the end, the most likely outcome is you have got, for the most, likely outcome, you've got the sun and the moon. Again, and this is how this person shows up, which almost reiterates what we were saying about the fact that you are this person's teacher to marry in both sides of themselves, the intellectual and the loving. And then how you two come together is basically, I think you're a huge lesson to this person, because I think what will happen is when you do get together, this person will feel as if you're the one and you have almost taught them how to act, because you've got the sun and the moon up here as well, and then that in the Ten of Pentacles was in the middle. The Ten of Pentacles is like an accumulation of, sometimes it's finances, but sometimes it's just something that is very mundane. It's accumulation, and I'm thinking it's accumulation of something that has been worked on for a long time. And I'm thinking it's something that this person has been working on for a long time. So this does actually, these cards almost feel, and I know this doesn't feel so hot when you're actually having it read for yourself, that it's as if it's all about this person. And to be honest, it is. This person is struggling to be like you because they want to meet you on an equal stand, which is admirable. It's somebody who is working really hard on themselves, because I think in the past you frightened them with the attraction and they've had to turn away, and they've thought, oh my God, you know, I'm whatever age they are, why am I doing this? Why am I fearful of somebody because they make me feel vulnerable? So you're making this person work towards you, and then you're just showing up as yourself, open, honest, beautiful, and it's overwhelming for them. And so what they're trying to do is they're trying to match your vibration until you meet. And that's the only way that you two are going to meet. And when this person has got there, don't change yourself whatsoever, because the job is for this person to get themselves on that vibration where they match you. I know I've just said that. Because this, with the sun and the moon at the beginning for your person, and that's in your spread for your most likely outcome. And then with the Ten of Pentacles, it's an accumulation of hard work and working together, and then that's when this relationship will grow. Your person with the Four of Pentacles here has definitely got low self-esteem that you don't know about. I don't think anybody knows about it. It gives me the impression of somebody who looks like they're really in control. Somebody who is quite a character, and quite a forceful character, possibly. Not in a loud way, but then it's, I think deep down, they feel like something's not quite right in them. They feel like they need to be something more, and then they've been attracted to you, and it's almost been like, it's probably been quite painful for them. You just show up as you are. For this relationship to flourish, then I think that you don't need to change anything. Okay, right, pile number 1, I'm going to finish there. I hope that made some sense to you in some way, and it hopefully resonated with somebody you probably know already. I'm going to finish there, and good luck with your person, whoever it is. Thank you for watching. Bye. to get close to you, straight from the very beginning. And I can't remember which cards particularly combined as yet. I'll go back to it. This makes me feel that somebody who wants to get closer to you is in pain because you're not together. Possibly you could both be in pain because you're not together. And I'm not really sure where this relationship is going because it feels like it's ended. And sorry, camera clicks off after half an hour. Just saying, with the Emperor energy here, you will know who this person is. The energy is strong. It's competent. It takes responsibility, and it's the type of person that helps out people in trouble. They like to be there and they like to help. And the Neptune here, I'm wondering whether this person works in some sort of field where they pull people up and they need to be tough to do it. Possibly, I don't know, it could either be that, or they could be just like an Aries with planets behind that follow in Pisces. That feeling of fierce, but... Did you get that card? Yes, you did. It's fierce, but with almost a feeling of... I'm going to say miscommunication. It's fierce, but with a slant of illusion on it. So your person might appear very competent, but sometimes I think in their mind things get muddled up. And because they're quite straight and forceful, they make their muddled up points with conviction. And I wonder whether people think, where did that come from? It's that feeling of, there's a slight tinge of them of, well, that's unusual, considering that they're very straight in 99% of their life. And then there may be something that they've said or done that you may think, crikey. There's just that slight bit of that. These two energies don't fit well together. So you would notice it. You will notice if this person mainly comes across as being strong, collected, helpful, and works with conviction, but there's an edge where you think, Jesus, where did that come from? They will say something that doesn't make sense, so that might be it. But I do think your person can also switch with the Knight of Wands here of being quite playful. Neptune and the Knight of Wands make me think of somebody who may have a position of responsibility but can also kid around a bit. Somebody who likes a joke, somebody who's quite laddish or ladettish in some way, where they like to have fun and they like to play, but I think their position in life doesn't allow it too often. Right then, let's have a look. The situation is coming across as the Three of Swords. So I think that you know this person because there's been some sort of pain. And I feel that quite heavily in this pile. I don't think you're with this person because of something that you or they may have found quite traumatic. It really has pulled on the heartstrings, and it's almost as if it's pulled too far on both of your heartstrings. The fact that you may have just separated. You may have just separated, and you may just be holding your cards close to your chest, both of you at this very moment. If it's not separation, it's just basic. It's that fear of feeling too vulnerable, a little bit like the power before. Your connection may be quite strong and it makes you feel vulnerable or makes them feel vulnerable, and there's that feeling that it doesn't quite... There's that feeling of it being painful, and that's all I can say for that at the moment. I'll keep going and I'll come back. So the barrier to communication is in some way it's unequal. Maybe there's more give and take. Maybe somebody has let their feelings, the Six of Pentacles here, somebody may have let their feelings show, or may have actually just said their feelings towards the other one, and they haven't been reciprocated as much as they should have been. It doesn't have to be something that's said, it could just be felt. It may be situation that you've been in where one's made it quite clear that the attraction's there and the other one's just waiting, or vice versa. I don't know which way that flows, but there's some pain involved here. And the pain is to do with that the relationship is perceived as being unequal in some way. One's giving and the other one's taking a little bit too much. Right, how will you know this person is I think that situation we've just talked about happens over and over and over again. This person wants to get closer to you, but every time I think that you get together or that you show up in the same place at the same time, it's almost as if the situation repeats itself, where one of you actually feels like they're giving out and the other one is just taking or not really reciprocating as much as they'd want. And I'm wondering whether it's not you, because if your person's coming across as the Emperor twice and the Knight of Wands, it's somebody who's quite forceful in their nature, somebody who's quite got a strong ego. So if you're the softer person in the relationship, let me go on to these cards in a minute, it may be something to do with that, where you feel as if you are moving towards this person, you're giving yourself, and then the person is putting up some sort of hard outer shell, because they don't know any other way to do it. It's probably the way they've always acted in their life, but the situation is repeating itself. And this person wants to get closer to you, but I don't think they know how. Okay. They want to get closer to you, but they're coming across here, and how they want to do it is the Queen of Pentacles. This doesn't surprise me for an Emperor, because the Emperor is not going to come to you with flowers and crying outside your bedroom window. This person is going to come to you and they're going to give you some sort of practical gesture or practical offer, and it's going to be some sort of nurturing, which is the Emperor is very paternal, so male or female, it's going to be a very sort of nurturing but practical offer. This person with this energy probably doesn't know any other way how to come forward. It's going to be something that you could probably mistake that they still weren't interested, and it will just seem like a small practical step, but there'll be some sort of loving feeling behind it, but it's almost, if you didn't know it was coming, you wouldn't have spotted it. It's like the hard parent energy. The parent loves you, the parent wants to do the best for you, but they don't know how to show you. So when this person comes towards you, it's going to be something that doesn't seem overly romantic, but is definitely in their head is. And they're quite fiery as well. Fiery people aren't really, if they've got fire all the way through, they're not somebody who connects with their emotions very easily. They give through adventure, they give through fun, and this Emperor as well with this, they will give through everyday things. It's more down to earth than the Knight of Wands, but there's still the Aries feel about it. So yeah, it could be adventure actually. It could be something like doing something that, going to watch a match together, going to see some sport together, going to do snowballing together, just something adventurous but very down to earth. Even with the Neptune here, with this Queen of Pentacles, the way they're coming towards you, and the Emperor and the Knight of Wands, I don't think this person is going to be throwing themselves at your feet and wailing and saying I love you. It's more a case of let's do something together and see how it goes. Right. What attracted them to you is the King of Cups. I think your person is very good at being in the world and looking like they're in control. They may in their job be quite well known for being in control and being quite outgoing, possibly. Knight of Wands, Aries, quite forceful. But you are somebody who matches them in power, but your power is more perceptive and more emotional. You may be the type of person that holds back and just deals with things with really good, mature confidence. You can suss situations out. This person can suss situations out, but I think you do it in such more of a gentle manner that it intrigues them. You tend to go to situations, know what you're doing and handle it with ease, while this person is almost slightly more forceful and has a stronger ego. While you tend to flow with your energy in a mature way. As mature as this person, but it's more feminine in some ways. Male or female, it feels more receptive. It feels as if you use your emotion wisely, and you probably deal with people really well. I would think that this person has been attracted to you by the way that you have dealt with your emotions and the way that you deal with your emotions in everyday life, the way that you take the high road. Makes me think of somebody who's quite mature, who doesn't flirt without meaning to, who's not giddy, who just handles himself with grace and maturity. Which I think with the Emperor card here is probably hugely attractive to them. Because they're looking for the Empress. The Emperor is looking for the Empress. It's somebody who matches them with authority, but they're looking for male or female, the feminine version that's probably more emotional, probably more intuitive, probably more at ease with nurturing. This person's nurtures, but it's more in a paternal way. But with the King of Cups here, even though it's a masculine card, the fact that they've got this third eye here makes me think that you are more in touch with your feminine side, and I mean feminine as in receptive side. You don't have to be male or female for any of this. It's just basically how I think of different energies, I suppose. And some are more outgoing and direct and forceful, which I always term as masculine, just because that's the way that I have learnt it, for no other reason. And then the feminine to me is more receptive, it's more emotional, and it pulls in. It's like drains and radiators, but in the best way possible. One pulls in and likes to nurture, the other one pushes out and likes to experience. So I wonder whether your person is somebody who likes to experience life, where you're quite astute. You're still a king here, but you like to experience it, but you experience it internally as well, and you give out in a very sort of nurturing, mature way. And that's what this person has spotted. I don't know whether they've seen you interacting with somebody and just listen to you speak and your voice and the things you say, or whether they've just dealt with them in a situation that's been very sort of all together. So I'm counting cards here. Which card am I on next? Okay. This is difficult. I'm just going to say what I'm thinking. What you will know about this person, I think that you will probably see them in groups, and I still think it's going to be really hard to get close to them. What they're looking for, because these two cards below each other, you've got the Six of Pentacles with, can you see the other one? I'll hold them up. The barrier to the communication is, the Six of Pentacles is the scales here. And it feels as if something's unequal, as we said earlier. And how will you know and what will happen in the situation is, once again, the scales are here. But as there's like movement forward with these doves, I'm going to say pigeons. There's like movement forward, and it's almost with the olive branch here, as if they are trying to meet you on an even keel. I think they probably, with this Emperor energy, have been that little bit more dominant in the relationship, if it's a relationship, or in the attraction. That they are trying to either hold their own if they haven't come towards you yet. I don't know. I don't think you're together. And I think this person's trying to hold their own, and it's almost as if there's a playoff between who's going to move next. And I think this person doesn't normally move first, but I think that they're going to come towards you with the olive branch in an effort to equal things out a bit, because you have handled yourself admirably here with this King of Cups. And I keep thinking here, the Three of Swords here, that you're not together. Okay. So what they want is the Queen of Pentacles. My sister's just fallen over outside. You right, Claire? So what they want is the Queen of Pentacles. And how things look like from their perspective is the King of Pentacles. So they want things to be grounded. They're going to come towards you with some sort of grounded situation or offer. They want things to be mature, and they want them to be... They don't want arguments. They don't want drama. And how things look like from their perspective is exactly like that. I think your person's very grounded. I don't think they're the type of person who is over emotional. I think they deal with the situations as they are at hand, and I don't think they think too much before or after. But I think they're quite perceptive in some ways. I think they know what's going on. I think they know that they can be a little bit domineering and that they basically hold the cards in this relationship at the moment. Since the breakup, they may feel as if they contributed too much to this breakup and they're looking for balance, and they know that's what you deserve, and they know that you're aware of this. The situation keeps repeating itself. I wonder whether it's something that plays out over and over again with the pair of you or in your life in general. I don't know. And the way that they look at it, your person seems very staid. What they want is the Queen of Pentacles. The way that they look of the relationship is the King of Pentacles. What they want is who they are and the way they look at things. And this person with the Emperor card is very stuck in their ego. They're very practical. They're very in the now. And they think that they're right. This person thinks that they're right. But I do think they have an inkling that they may hold the reins too much in the relationship, and that you have actually been really patient and mature about this situation. There's still a huge feeling of power with your person. Even though I don't think you're together and that you've fallen to the wayside as a couple, or that the attraction has fallen down because I don't think it's almost blocked in some way, that your person is coming across as being quite aware of who they are and their position in the relationship and life in general. It seems to me as somebody's quite stuck and fixed. And I wonder whether it's something that you're just coming to realise. Because these cards to me, the Emperor twice, the Queen of Pentacles, how they want things to be, the King of Pentacles and how they're showing up, they want things to be exactly how they want things to be. And you're looking for more. You're looking for equality and you're looking for balance, and you're going inside yourself to try and sort out what's going on. You're trying to be more perceptive and you're doing the inner work inside yourself to make the relationship work. And this person is quite a stuck in the mud person, but stuck in their own narrow perception of how things should be. I think this person's a hard nut to crack because I think they're very fixed. And you're coming across as well as the Ten of Cups here. So you're coming across as really gentle and giving and perceptive and working hard on yourself and being inward and working on where you want to be with this person. But I think you're doing all the legwork. If it was me, which it's not, I would let this person chase you. Let this person find the equality. Let this person realise that the situation is going over and over. And the fact that it's ended may have a lot to do with your person being so fixed and stubborn. They may come across as very practical. They may be the type of person that helps you with fixing your computer. They may be the type of person that goes out and buys you something you need for the house, or is always there when you need a helping hand. And I think this has really softened you. And I think that's where the attraction is on your point of view. But you're not actually realising what you're putting into a relationship. You are teaching this person how to love and how to be open with it and not to be so fixed and have such straight boundaries. So I think you need to know your self-worth in this relationship and what you're giving to it. Because I think, a bit like the last pile, you're almost teaching this person a different, with a Neptune here, a different part of themselves that they need to bring out a little bit more. They come across as the stronger character. You come across as the more perceptive character. You're probably more emotional. You're probably milling over what's going to happen next. But you need to back off and let them do the work in the best possible sense. Not against you whatsoever, because your energy is beautiful. But you need to let this person my God, I've just realised what the title is. Who wants to get closer to you? And I'm telling you to basically treat them mean. This person does want to get close to you, but they need to be more like you because you're teaching them, like Pile 1. But I suppose if people come to tarot card reading and they're asking, they're probably quite perceptive or receptive in some way because they're open to possibilities. Because I think somebody with an Emperor card here and an Emperor card here, there's no way that they would go to a tarot reading because they know life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work like that. It's a bunch of cards on the table. But you're probably going thinking, well, you probably know that what exactly what it is, and it's a general reading. But there's just bits that you pick out, you feel that you may help you, that might help you, and you know whether they ring true or not. This person wouldn't tolerate that. Right, okay. How the energy flows between the pair of you. I don't know whether, to be totally honest, whether your relationship is going to move forward because it's come out as the Three of Swords here and the Ten of Swords here is an end of a situation. So I don't get the feeling that the relationship is moving, and I don't think it's going to move in the near future. The most likely outcome as well, you've got death, you've got... This to me is you two, this person with all the power, and you almost just sitting there, and then there's the indecision and there's the thinking and there's the fantasizing that's still there. So right, this is a really strong pile. I think this pile is a message to you. Who's coming towards you? Somebody you know you need to show who you are and what you have given and what you have got to offer. And until they meet you at the this is very similar to the last part, the vibration that you are, don't move an inch. This is really bossy. Don't move an inch because you've got the Ten of Cups, you've got the King of Cups, you're all there. This is an equal. This person thinks that the situation is exactly how it should be because that's how they act. That's who they are. They're not a bad person, but they're just very structured. You're more flexible, you're more free-flowing, and the situation to me feels like it's not moving or hasn't moved or it's moved and ended. And I'm not sure whether that's going to change, to be honest, but the message is to you to just be who you are because you are this person's lesson. And this person is not really playing with their Neptune. They have those boundaries. Neptune has no boundaries. Your person has strong boundaries. They may be fun, they may be attractive, they may hold a position where everybody fancies them, but who cares? You're more than that. You're more than that. You need to show them that life isn't quite as straightforward as they may think. Right, I'm going to finish there. Sorry for ranting. I hope that makes sense to you though, but because it's quite strong for me, that feeling of you need to teach this person, you don't need to change a thing, don't change yourself, you have dealt with everything admirably, and if this person is ever going to come to you, the Emperor, King of Wands, they want to chase. You don't need to change anything. Show up, be who you are, but make them move, not you. Right, pile number 2. I hope that helps. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope to see you again. Bye. Okay, pile number 3. This is an unusual pile for me to try and interpret. It has a feeling of who wants to get closer to you. It has a feeling of somebody who is, there's a group feeling about it, and there's a feeling of spiritual lessons. The third pile always feels a bit like that to me. There was a reading I did about 3 or 4 days ago, and it just felt really strong, and it was very spiritual, and like the pile corrupted and I couldn't get it out. So, but this is almost, it wouldn't surprise me if you are meant to be here for this pile, it would be the third pile is the same thing, if you know what I mean. Right, I think that your person is somebody who you possibly know through a group situation, or it's somebody who is quite effeminate in the way that they do things, They may be quite nurturing. You may just see them with a lot of women, male or female. If your person is quite masculine and quite in control, go straight to the other two piles. Don't watch this one, because I do think that this one has a really effeminate feel. Somebody who is probably quite spiritual, maybe interested in spirituality in some ways, or somebody that always takes the higher road but in a more feminine way, in the old-fashioned sense of feminine, male or female. It's somebody who's more receptive and old-fashioned as in, oh God, here we go. I'm thinking feminine as in masculine, feminine in astrology. So it's that reception, it's that emotion, it's that pull, it's that ability to pull it inwards and to be intuitive in some way. And the Vesta makes me feel of somebody who strengthens people, so their energy is receptive but makes people feel good, and it almost as if it churns them out in life to be bigger. It's got a Pisces feel of it, somebody who's really kind, not going to have to be Pisces. It's somebody who you're possibly attracted to or know who it is by the fact that they're open and receptive and kind. It could very much be that this person is female, or it's a person who is just got those qualities of reception as we talked about earlier. Nobody talked to me, I'm talking to myself. Right. I really strongly get the feeling that this person either works in groups, or you're going to meet them at some conference, or you know them from a group situation where they may possibly have some sort of spiritual, I'm not thinking power. They may have some sort of recognition of being listened to, or it's somebody who's seen as kind and wise. And it's somebody who people listen to, whether it's a group situation or whether it's just the energy that when they talk, it's not forceful, but people listen. It's got that feeling of like a yoga teacher or a spiritual teacher, or just somebody that's quite interested in, it could be art, it's just something that's quite receptive in some way. But they hold this position or their personality or their character with power and with influence. But I feel strongly that there are other people around you a lot. If you know this person already, there's always people around you. I don't get the feeling it's you're there and you're one-to-one and you know this person and you spent lots of time together. It makes me feel of somebody that you know, but there's always a group around you. Sorry, camera clicks off after half an hour. I was just about to say, this pan has a feeling of two people who are really psychically close to each other. I reckon that you will know this person because you've dreamt about them beforehand. You're probably the type of, if you're in contact, you will know this person's about to call because you just pick the phone up and you're almost on there at the same time. It's a feeling of somebody you dream about. It's a feeling of somebody's eyes you can read. It's a feeling of closeness that's quite spiritual. This is so similar to that pile. It's so weird. I was really annoyed that disappeared, and it's almost like the same reading. There's a spiritual meaning for you both being brought together, and it's not easy. The communication may not be straightforward. There may always be people around, or there may always be blocks, or there may always, as if you're doing something that's quite hidden. It's like talking when people aren't looking, because this Page of Wands is like in the night and he's flying. He knows where he's going, he's fierce, but he's trying to communicate, and it makes me feel that's a huge part of the relationship. The communication is a huge part of the relationship. You probably both like to communicate, but that you're doing it in a different way because you can't actually get close to this person due to a group situation. It makes me just feel of people that talk without saying anything. There's like some sort of psychic bond between you both. So this person coming towards you, you may know, if you don't know this person, you do know them. It's a feeling that you'll recognise them as soon as you've seen them. As soon as you've clapped eyes on this person, you will know it's that person who's meant to be in your life. without doubt, there's a feeling of and I think this is part of your lesson. I think the lesson, or the reason that you two will be brought together, will be to recognise each other. And recognise each other almost like that deja vu feeling of past life feeling, or that you recognise them from a dream, or there's just it's like a psychic awareness or an awakening that this person is going to bring out in you and vice versa. And for some reason, the communication will not be easy in day-to-day situations. And that's where the lesson is with the pair of you, is to communicate and to be happy with that communication until you can get closer to each other. If I were you and I had this pile, I would probably ask a question before. This makes me sound bonkers. Are you ready? I would probably ask a question before I go to sleep, like something you want to know about this person or some sort of communication, and then make sure that you record your dream in the morning as soon as you wake up, and just see, look back after a few weeks whether this makes any sense whatsoever, or whether there's something that hasn't come into reality yet, is almost in your mind before it happens. And I think your initial contact will not be easy. I think your contact, I'm getting this over and over again, your contact in the mundane is going to be difficult. It's going to be almost, I wonder whether your contact in everyday life can almost be a bit spiky. If you know this person already, or your first contact with them could be, you're in some sort of knowing that you know this person is meant to be in your life, and now I think that it's a little bit of an inkling that it's meant to be something psychic, and it's supposed to awaken your psychic qualities, and this person's probably, but the day-to-day communication is hard. You can't get close to them. When you do, it's almost as if it's spiky, and there's no softness there, and there's no connection there, but you both know it's there. So it's not going to be easy. Okay, I'm just jumping to this card here, which I shouldn't do. How the energy flows between the pair of you. So all this here we've just talked about is like you're this little turtle, and these waves are almost, it's like a wall behind you. And I think with the High Priestess here and the Vesta card and the Starseed card, that wave is like a knowing and a psychic awareness and an emotional perception of who this person is in your life, how they're meant to be there and why they're meant to be there, but the connection in everyday life not being quite what you feel it should be to marry up with that, which is confusing for you. Why they're attracted to you, the Nine of Wands, and this card here is, you're quite defensive, I think, because of what the things we've just talked about, but they can see something with the sun rising here. They can see something that's going to be a journey for them, and vice versa. You are meant to be together for a reason that's a little bit more important than snogging in the backseat of the cinema. It's something else, it's something bigger. So this person wants to get close to you because the feeling will be so strong that they can learn from you, and probably vice versa. And this person is not going to find it easy to get to you either, because you've got the Nine of Wands with the sort of sticks, the barrier there. And then you've got communication is quite hard, it's quite spiky, it's almost a little bit of conflict there, and there's probably people around you all the time, but I think there's an awareness there. And there's some spiritual meaning to your connection. And I think it's for you to develop your psychic abilities. It's for you to I wonder whether you know already whether you have these qualities and it's made you quite fearful, and maybe something that has happened, something that you've seen or something that you've experienced, that you have an inkling that you know that you're quite psychic. This person is almost makes me feel like some agreement before you came down to earth of saying, I know you're going to do this. I know you're going to play with it and be fearful. So I'm going to come and you're going to be attracted to me and vice versa. And that's going to force you, because we can't get together, to develop those qualities. How will you know this person's in your life? It will be something to do with a normal, everyday, practical situation. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody who's there, they're solid. It's not some sort of angel coming down with wings and saying, I'm here to teach you a lesson. It will basically be just somebody who shows up in your life and is there and solid. And it might be a work situation, it may be a nurturing situation, but it's somebody who makes you feel cared for, even though they recognise who you are and they make you feel like everything's right, but you may not be able to get close to them. You may work with this person. How will you know who this person is? Because they will be there. They've got the Queen of Pentacles. It's solid. So I'm just looking at which cards, which one. So from your perspective, Six of Wands, I think you may work with this person. I never get this card. I've had this pack for, I don't know, 3 months, 4 months, and I have never got the Six of Wands. So I wonder whether the Queen of Pentacles is something mundane, something everyday life. But that's where the beauty is, because I think that you will, if you don't actually work together in a work situation, it will be something that develops slowly through you both working as a team and not getting over emotional or getting a little bit angsty about the contact and the fact you may have an argument when you first meet. If you haven't already, you may just have that sticky situation where things don't flow easily. But I think what's good for you is to be grounded and be basic and just work together, and that's going to be part of the effort of you're both going to put in is going to be the bond that pulls this together and brings out the best qualities in both of you. From their perspective as well, they're coming out as hidden inner strength, so the shadow cat. So I feel that the growth between the pair of you is going to be between the pair of you. It's not just one person who's going to develop through this contact. This person wants to get closer to you because they feel as if there's some bigger meaning to the contact with you. This pile is so strange to me, because it's almost exactly that pile. I've said it 3 times, I won't say it again and bore you all. Right, I'm going to sum this up. This person wants to get closer to you is somebody you probably see in groups. The communication is important to you both, but I think it's quite hard for you both. I don't think you can communicate because there's other people around you, and I wonder whether if you have already communicated, it's not gone how you expected. And I think that's going to continue for a while, because your lesson in this connection is for you both to develop your psychic abilities in some way. It's almost as if I think you know that you have them and you have an inkling, and you may have felt that it's overwhelming. This situation may feel like it's something else when you're together. It won't be like a typical love relationship where you think, oh, that's beautiful, let's get together. It will be something that there's going to be a lot of working together to get it moving. It could be quite jarring at times, but there's a real strong connection. It may even be a strong group connection. But you are meant to work together. With Vesta here, you're meant to work together to bring out inner qualities. Not inequalities, but inner qualities, as inside yourselves. It's a really, really lovely pile. This person's going to recognise you by the fact that they just feel that connection straight away, but there's these barriers there, and I don't know why. You're going to have to work together and almost be slightly unemotional in everyday life, and to use all that inner turmoil, or not turmoil is a strong word, to nurture your psychic awareness. Because it's going to almost like banging heads in everyday life, but your person knows it. Your person sees you as the sun and awareness, and it's coming out from behind something that's been cut off. It's almost as if you've come into this life on the edge of knowing that you've got to wake up. And you don't want to do it because it's not easy, and it's just people think, well, everyday life is, let's just go on with it. But you can't do that anymore. This person's been brought into your life to open you up. And they know that it's reciprocated. This feeling, they've got the inner strength. When the small cat is almost like the wolf behind, which is not a cat. Could be something else. Right, okay. And the most likely outcome to this situation is the Tower. So I'm going to say this, and I don't know whether you're interested in sort of stuff, but it's almost like a Kundalini spiritual awakening. It could be, it doesn't have to be. It's like the fire that rushes up your spine, and it could be quite uncomfortable in some way. I don't know whether you're interested in that. Maybe if you're looking at tarot cards, you may be, but this person is here to wake you up. This may be something that's just mental. It could with this card be physical too. But I think that's something, if you're interested, then you're interested, you know about it anyway. If not, it may be something you may be interested to look up. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard. This is not an easy relationship, but it's really important. And then this Queen of Cups at the end, it's like looking up to the stars. This is a fab pile. You really have a fantastic pile here. So I don't know if this person is in your life at the moment, and I'm going to stop ranting, but I got myself a little bit excited here. This person is here for a bigger reason. It's not just basically to smooch around on the city. You're going to have to work hard. It's not going to be easy. You're going to turn your back, and it may actually be physically painful. It could be, I don't know. But there's like you've got some great cards here. It's like a force that is needed to wake you up to who you really are. I don't know about the physically painful. I just bits and bobs. People who sometimes awaken, who wake up, I don't know, get that feeling that it can be overwhelming at times. But to be honest, what I get from here is it's almost like a working on yourself in a psychic sense. That connection with this person needs to be worked on. But I'm going to stop there because I am talking for a long time. What a fantastic pile number 3. So who wants to get closer to you? Somebody who feels like the connection is huge, and the connection is huge for the both of you, but not easy. But this person is needed in your life, and you're needed in theirs. And it's be gentle with each other, be kind with each other. Even if the communication is jarring and you can't get close to each other, you may not need to be in a one-to-one relationship with this person. Because of this group situation, this Vesta here, you're here to help each other, and you're here to help each other become aware. Right, pile number 3, fantastic. I'm going to leave you with that. Good luck. Please call back again. Bye.